Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Anna, wait until we're invited.
Oh, for God's sake, Keller, get the hell in here.
What?
He actually sings in the shower. It's a whole
I do not.
Yes, you do.
Abby, can I take Joy to our house?
Wear a hat, please. You're just getting over a cold.
Joe, you wear a hat too.
I have never really been a Jake Gyllenhaal fan, I'll admit, and I liked him in this film, Prisoners, Ben.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, I know what you mean. I honestly, I can completely tell where you're coming from. I don't dislike the guy, but
No.
But for the films he's done, he's done a lot of good films. I still don't get excited when I see him in something.
No, it's never one of the selling points. Like when it was like Prisoners, the new film starring Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. It's like you only really need the first half of that sentence.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly right. Hugh Jackman, at the moment at least, is somebody who I when he's in a film, I get interested in it. He's done some good stuff recently. I mean, he did Les Mis last year. Was it early this year?
It was released early this year in the UK.
Yes,
but I think it may have been just Christmas release overseas.
Right, but he did Les Mis within the last year.
Yes.
And, and he did Wolverine, which I really like way more than I anticipated. So he's doing all right in my book. But Jake Gyllenhaal still doesn't get me excited.
No, and that was like the problem with this is, well, I say it was a problem. That's what I thought going in, that I wanted this to be a story about Hugh Jackman, and then, Jake Gyllenhaal starts getting a lot of screen time. And then by the end of the film, I was like, damn, this didn't need Hugh Jackman in at all.
Really?
Really, yeah.
Wow, because the trailer makes it look like he is the main character.
No, he's got like this side story that actually, well, isn't really as connected to the main plot as you would want it to be.
Right. I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell us?
Yes,
Because this is Prisoners, the new film with obviously Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, about child abduction.
Yeah, and it's Hugh Jackman and Terrence Howard. Their daughters go out playing in the street and get kidnapped, and it's Jake Gyllenhaal's the cop, the detective trying to take them down, and Hugh Jackman is the father, and he tries to he always takes law into his own hands. And I was half expecting him while he's on this sort of, revenge-driven, fuel-angry thing to, when's this clothes coming out? But he didn't try. He didn't try as hard to get his own daughter back as he did to protect that girl in Japan. So
well, she was pretty hot.
She was hot. That's all. That's one of the first thing when I said when I came out. I was like, she wasn't a hot Japanese girl. That's why.
Exactly. If she had been, damn, it would have been all over that shit.
And that's pretty much it, really. So. The Hugh Jackman story is a lot more on the drama side than the plot side. It's all about his character and what he's going through.
Yeah, because, at least the trailer makes it look like early on in this investigation that obviously Jake Gyllenhaal's heading up, there's a suspect played by Paul Dano.
Yeah, he's badass, Paul Dano.
I like Paul Dano, man.
Class.
What was
I
the
like
last thing
him
you saw him in? Looper was the last thing I saw him in.
I loved him in Looper. I loved him in There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
And I liked him in Girl Next Door because he plays one of the tripods.
He does, yeah. That's probably the first thing I have seen ever saw him in, actually. And it's ironic that he's probably doing the best out of all of the people in that, including Alicia Cuthbert, who I don't know, man. I liked Alicia Cuthbert, but what the fuck happened to her, man? She just went nowhere.
No, and that's a shame because I'd like to go to many places. Sorry.
I digress.
Yes. So Hugh Jackman's role is he takes the law into his own hands, and he goes down a line of when is it? Oh, it's quite hard to say stuff without spoiling it.
It's like how far do you have? How far can you go? Take the law into your own hands. Is that type of thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it's especially because he's trying to do things that he just thinks is like he thinks that certain suspects have been involved, so he just goes after them.
Well, it's Paul Dano's character, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
At least that's what no, this isn't spoiler. This is in the trailer.
Okay, I haven't seen the trailer.
The trailer basically makes it look like Jake Gyllenhaal's this kind of detective who's, he's doing his job, but he's not getting the results Hugh Jackman wants. Paul Dano's character is a suspect early on, and he's let go because there's no evidence, but Hugh Jackman's got it in his head that, no, it is this guy, and so he goes after him himself, and he becomes a vigilante to try and get his daughter back.
Yeah.
At least that's what the trailer makes it look like.
That's exactly.
And of course, I think he ropes in Terrence Howard, who's the father of the other girl that's been abducted.
Yeah. And he's obviously a bit more, since it's not his idea. He thinks his best friend's insane, but he still wants his daughter back. So he's almost got more questions to ask himself.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's just fully committed to this.
Well, Hugh Jackman looks like a man on a mission in the trailer.
Yeah. It's crazy what he gets up to. It's horrible at times, and you put down that line of, when does he become the monster in this story?
Yeah.
That's Hugh Jackman's entire part. But then on the counter side to that is Jake Gyllenhaal's part, and you've got one of the best thrillers I've seen in years. You could take their two characters apart, and you would have a great drama or a great thriller, but they put them together in a really interesting way.
All right.
So Jake Gyllenhaal rarely concerns himself with what Hugh Jackman's doing. Not until the latter stages, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine things probably get out of hand. And,
yeah.
But yeah, I said earlier on that Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't get me excited, but Jake Gyllenhaal's good. Jake Gyllenhaal's goodness.
Oh, he's class. He plays this sort of detective with an edge, and it's hinted at that he's been a victim of child molestation in the past. Because the first thing he does is go around to the known child offenders in the area, and he finds one guy and just beats the shit out of him for just to get some info.
Just cause,
Yeah, and he's really, really intense in it. Hugh Jackman is a scary man in this film.
I think Hugh Jackman can be quite scary anyway. Yeah. Jesus, that guy is he still really fucking built off having done Wolverine?
He really is, but he's got this really weird goatee, so he doesn't quite look right, but you still wouldn't want to mess with him. He almost he almost feels more dangerous in this, because he's not thinking properly.
Well, that's it.
But Jake Gyllenhaal's character, though, he's just as driven, but as Hugh Jackman is to find these girls, because I think he had a personal sort of connection to the case because of what he's been through.
Yeah.
And he promises that he's going to get them back, and he's just as driven, but he can focus, and he can let Paul Dano's character go, knowing that if he needs him, he can just call him back in, or he's going to do the investigation how he wants to.
Yeah. Well, he's the guy. He's got to maintain the rules.
Yeah. But he still wants to give Hugh Jackman favors for things. So I can't remember what Hugh Jackman's character's called.
Let's have a look. I do have it in front of me. It is Keller Dover.
Yeah, he's Keller. And God, Jake Gyllenhaal's character is Detective Loki. And don't call your main character Loki if you're doing a thriller, because it's just I wonder who's going to turn evil in the end. I'm not going to say if he does or not. This film is full of it's not if you when there's a film with a massive twist in,
yeah,
it's a spoiler to say it has a massive twist in. All this film is twists.
It seems like one of those films that nothing's quite what you see. Nothing's quite what it seems. Because I thought the trailer gave quite a lot away.
None at all. I haven't seen the same trailer as you, because the trailer also didn't have Paul Dano's involvement in it much. So. But the trailer also, it barely gave anything away what happens in it. I don't think you could. And it's one of those great films where I was sat watching it and I thought I knew what was going to happen, and then I was wrong about 5 times. Yeah.
I suppose that sounds pretty good, actually, because there's nothing less thrilling than a thriller that just signposts exactly what it's going to do.
Yeah. And because of how dark some of the early stages are, when when the ante wasn't as high, when there wasn't as much at stake, I was they're willing to go to that depth there. So when the actual conclusion happens, what won't they do? So if this had been an Avengers film, there's a bit at the end where he's oh, blah, 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 he's going to go save everyone and everyone's going to be happy. And it's just during this final confrontation between several characters, I literally didn't know who was going to come out on top.
Nice.
And that was after just the shock reveal of, what was actually going on as well. So it was just it just boom, 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 all the way through the last sort of 15, 20 minutes.
Nice, okay.
It's a slow burner up to that point.
Well, sometimes slow burners don't really do well. But sometimes they have the biggest payoff.
Yeah, well, if you think, I think Walking Dead Season 2 was a slow burner with a massive payoff. And to be honest, I didn't really enjoy those early episodes, but I was glad I watched them just so I could get the payoff.
Yeah, sometimes it's, that's it. The payoff's got to be worth it.
Yeah, whereas this, it might have been a slow burner, but even if there hadn't been a big payoff, it would have been worth it just for the quality of what I had watched. It's even when it was just like going along at a snail's pace, it like had my total attention.
All right, okay. Well, Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman. I love him at the moment.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of good stuff. Does he continue, or is he overshadowed?
What doing good stuff?
Is he good in this?
He's fantastic, and I don't know who could have done the same job that he did there. The reason I say Jake Gyllenhaal was so good is because I think you can associate with them more. Because I don't have children who've been kidnapped by a child molester, whereas I wanted to help people before. So, and I think what he did was a lot more sort of familiar and things. So I enjoyed watching him more. But in terms of performance, Hugh Jackman stole the show. He was. Well, just imagine if, was it Cosette in Les Mis? Imagine if she'd just been, kidnapped.
Oh, shit would have went down, man.
It would have went absolutely down. And, after what happened to Anne Hathaway that afternoon, where she went from being, a factory worker to a whore with no teeth, they're willing to go to depths there. We'd have seen some shit.
Oh, yeah. You don't fuck with Hugh Jackman, man.
No.
It doesn't matter the film. I'm just having a look at the cast list here, actually. Terrence Howard's in this. I like Terrence Howard, although I do think he fucked up when he didn't come back for Iron Man 2 and 3, and they didn't play the long game with that one.
Yeah, he was a dick.
But, you've got Viola Davis here as well, Oscar winner. Am I right in thinking that she's Terrence Howard's wife?
Yeah, and I've got to say that she doesn't really have much screen time, so I don't really have much of an opinion of her.
You've also got, though, Maria Bello, who is Hugh Jackman's wife in this. Grace Dover, she's called. I like Maria Bello. She's in a lot of stuff. She's just kind of one of these actresses that seems to pop up every so often.
Yeah.
But I like her.
She borderlined on annoying in this.
Oh, really?
Because while Hugh Jackman's out sort of following up leads.
Kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, well, taking one name. And then not letting it go. Maria Bello's character, was she playing Nancy or someone? Is that what her name is?
Grace.
Grace. She just goes absolutely depressed and just starts popping pills, and she every now and again she might see something that's like a clue, and Jake Gyllenhaal's character just he's like, oh, she's just high, it was just that did start to get a little tedious about how to be fair, her daughter's just been kidnapped and I'm having to go at her for being depressed, but
drugs don't help, do they? They're not going to help anybody.
Hugh Jackman's out on the streets,
He's delivering street justice, and this bitch is just getting high.
But I will say that whoever plays the killer's son, I always, for some reason, all the way through it, I thought that
it's a kid called Dylan Minnette or Minnette here.
Yeah, I don't know who. I'd never seen him before, and he only was in 2 scenes worth of damn, and He was good. In one of the final scenes before the big reveal and stuff, he proper stands up to Hugh Jackman and tells him he's been a shit dad and things. He's like, you're going out delivering street justice and we're here and I've got to look after my mum who's high on pills.
She's pilled out of a fucking skull.
And he proper tells off Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman just pop him one.
It doesn't faze him, but I was like, I wouldn't even do that as an actor.
Oh man.
The kid didn't let me in.
Was he? No, he was. He was. Was he not one of the bullies?
It was Kenny.
Yeah, he wasn't the main kid, because the main kid was what's the kid's name? Cody Smith McPhee, who's also on the road. So I presume he's one of the bullies.
Yeah. All right.
But I'd tell you what, I like Let Me In.
Oh yeah.
It's not as good as the original, but it's still pretty damn good.
Well, we just like Chloe Grace Moretz here, don't we?
Yeah, when did she become Chloe Grace Moretz? I always just called her Chloe Moretz, and then it seems like basically she was Chloe Moretz when Kick-Ass came out, and then sometime after that she kind of changed.
You see, I don't know, because when we did the original Kick-Ass review on the old website, I always called her Chloe Grace Moretz then, and I just let you get away with it.
Really? I've never heard her called that until after Kick-Ass. I think she's taking the piss with 3 names.
Yeah, that's what, it's just one too many.
Exactly, it just complicates matters. I'm just having a look down the cast list as well, but we've got fucking Melissa Leo on here as well, who played Holly Jones. Now, Melissa Leo is we probably know her best, at least Simon, as the mother from The Fighter.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg's mother. She's just goddamn horrendous. She's so good in the part in that film, but she's fucking horrendous. Is she any good in this? Or can you just not remember?
Right,
I think she looks very different in The Fighter.
If she's who I think she is. Oh my god, she was absolutely incredible.
Oh, she's Paul Dano's mother.
Yeah.
Judging by the names.
Right, but if you just do a Google for like the film, I'll try and find you a link. She just doesn't look like her. Like that, I got confused when you said that she was in the film.
Yeah, Melissa Leo always seems to look fucking different, but she's great. She's really good. She's always value for money.
Yeah, well, no, honestly, she was. Take it back, she was the standout film actress in this.
Yeah, man, I do like Melissa Leo. Didn't she win an Oscar for?
Yeah, she was
Fighter?
up against a lot of. Well, was Amy Adams nominated for The Fighter as well, and she beat her. There, I've sent you a link for what how she looks in this.
Oh damn, man! No wonder you didn't know who the fuck I was talking about. Jesus Christ!
I was like, hang on, isn't Holly Jones Paul Dano's mum? But she's like 70 with like big old grey frizzy hair and stuff.
Damn,
She does
man.
not look like Melissa Leo in this.
No, I mean she's quite like. I mean she doesn't look that old really when she's just normal. But damn, she looks fucking ancient in that picture.
Yeah. I will give a shout out to the kids in this. You know, the girls that get kidnapped.
They're very good at getting kidnapped.
You don't see them get kidnapped. Well, they obviously are good because they were. No, they got some setup scenes at the start, and it's just nothing they did. I'm fairly certain that they've like. I mean, she's one of them. Is called Erin Gerasimovich.
Yeah, I'm glad you tried to pronounce that because I was like, I'm just not going to bother mentioning the names.
Should have gone for the other one, but who is called Zoe Border. But they just had some nice scenes at the start where they were just acting like kids. And there wasn't, like, there was times when you thought you were, like, watching home movies when they were, like, all in the house together and downstairs and they were having, like, it's set on Thanksgivings when they get kidnapped. So that's why Hugh Jackman's gone around Terrence Howard's house. And
Will the young girl who plays Hugh Jackman's daughter, this is her first film?
is it?
Yeah.
Because on my list, she's in, like, 5.
Yeah, she's got things pending, but this is the first thing.
Oh, I
started.
see what you mean. Yes, sorry, I haven't looked. She was in Orange is the New Black.
Yes, apparently so. Which I've got Netflix, but I haven't yet watched.
No, I think I might give it a go.
I've heard it's all right actually. You know, it's I don't know.
Not critically acclaimed, but I've heard everyone that watches it says they enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's good.
I'm sure it's not the next Breaking Bad.
No, but you know, I know for a fact Netflix, at least Netflix UK, will have a huge tail off now that Breaking Bad's finished.
Yeah.
Because I know so many people who just started watching Netflix just for that.
Well, it had a huge peak beforehand, didn't it? So.
Yeah. So we were talking a bit before about the director for this, he's a French Canadian by the looks of it. I mean, he's from Quebec, so.
Yeah. Well, when I was saying earlier that the only reason I know how to pronounce his name, which is Villeneuve, and I said that Villeneuve was a Formula 1 driver. He was actually a Canadian Formula 1 driver, so he was French Canadian. So I guess it's more French Canadian than it is French.
Well, maybe it's like Smith.
Yeah, for those from Quebec.
Yeah. So the guy's called Denis Villeneuve, and he hasn't done a huge. I mean, he hasn't really been a director for a huge amount. He's only got 12 credits to his name, and a lot of that seems to have been French language things.
Yes.
This seems to be his kind of first big. What would you say? I would say I know Canada is in the West, even more so than where we're currently residing.
I suppose, yes.
But it's, you know, like, I suppose American movie, I think it's probably the best thing. But his next one's Enemy, who...
I think looks quite good, to be honest.
I only read it again.
Yeah, and what's her face? That French bird that I like.
Melanie Laurent.
Yeah, I think she's class.
God damn it, Shoshana? Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Shoshana? Out of Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah. And I was just saying that I think she's my favourite character in that. Like, you got to give respect to Christoph Waltz for his role, but I think she's the most entertaining person in that film, personally. But, you know, we'll skim over that one, because I know that it's going to be controversial.
A bone of contention. No, I do agree. I think Christoph Waltz is the best person in that movie, but I do like her character, and she's probably the main character, really, in that. She has way more screen time than, like, Brad Pitt or any of the actual bastards.
Yeah, well, that's what I think, because it's her story. Like, her character is the one that gets chased out of where, like, Austria at the start, and then it's her that is the actual one taking revenge at the end, really.
Yeah, it's a while since I've
You
seen
know,
that movie.
yeah, I might watch it again. Someone at work
Um,
hadn't seen it before, and I was like, "You got to watch it." It's like, isn't there 4 scenes in the film or something, or 5 scenes, and it's just
Yeah,
like
there's-
5
yeah,
20-minute conversations.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount happens really.
Oh,
But yeah, it's got some good moments there.
I love it.
So yeah, Dennis Villeneuve. I mean, has he done a good job?
Yeah, I mean, some of the artistic choices for the way he shot it and stuff. I mean, how much credit goes to the cinematographer, but it was always exciting. Like, there's this one bit where Jake Gyllenhaal's searching through a house, and he ends up in this like secret underground area, and it was actually really terrifying. Like, I was at that point. This was about maybe just under half an hour in. I was concerned it was going to turn into like a horror film. That's how scary it was being shot.
Nice.
It was really good. And then at the end, there's sort of, I don't know how to describe it again. It's tricky. Jake Gyllenhaal's in a car, and he's been sort of visually impaired, and you're driving the car with him through his eyes, and he's just gunning down the motorway like 100 miles an hour, and you know the lights are just starting to like get bolder and more bold, and they're sort of taking up more and more of your vision, and it's just like you're in the car with him, and it was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I'd tell anyone to go and see this.
I really do want to go and see it. In fact, I nearly did go and see it at the weekend, but the times were really shitty, so I ended up going to see something else.
Yeah, the times for it here were really shitty as well. It was slightly better times than when Argo was out. Argo had no good times, and I talked about this on a previous review or something. But the times for this, it was on twice a day, one at 5 p.m. and one at 9 p.m. every day, and it's just like. It's got Hugh Jackman in. After Les Mis, you know, you give at least 2 evening slots.
I know. I usually end up having to go to like the 9 o'clock one.
Yeah, well, that's what I did, because it was bizarre, actually. I just fancied a walk, and then I thought, well, why didn't you just walk to the cinema? So I did.
Oh, and why not? So yeah, I mean, you seem to have a lot of good stuff to say about this film, and I've heard a lot of good stuff elsewhere as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, what would you rate this?
I would give this an A. Yeah, I can't really think of anything that I would change about it. I don't know also what I would change to make it a gold star either, so...
Maybe it just fulfilled its potential.
Yeah, I think it's as good as it ever was going to be, but it was just... yeah, gold, A plus, A... No, just an A. Let's
not get carried away.
I hadn't actually thought about my rating until you literally just asked me, so...
Took you by surprise.
It's one I'm going to buy when it comes out, because I love a good thriller, and not many like thrillers are good.
Yeah.
Like Jake Gyllenhaal's bits actually reminded me a lot of Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Wow,
that was the style of thriller that his storyline was.
High praise indeed.
Yeah, it was really. You know what? Maybe I prefer this to Seven. Although it's been a while since I've seen that, I might have to watch it again.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a long time since I've seen that film actually. But yeah, damn, it was good. Kevin Spacey being in it and not being billed at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I could be wrong because I think I just pull out these random bullshit facts a lot. But I'm sure Kevin Spacey specifically said he didn't want to be put like on the cast list or the bill because he said it would give away at the end. Like, because you don't know who the killer is, and he just kind of turns up at the end. And I've spoiled Seven, but fuck it, it's been out 20 years.
Yeah, that doesn't be a spoiler.
But. I mean, I just thought that was really cool. Like the fact that he give away all recognition.
Yeah.
Just to keep.
He obviously recognised how good a thriller it was. And
yeah.
When you're willing to do something like that, you know that it's like worthy of spoiling it, because it would have spoiled it if you knew Kevin Spacey was in it.
Well, that's it. I mean, if Kevin Spacey's like third build after fucking Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, you know he's going to be the killer because he's not in it until the killer's revealed. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But goddamn, that was just fucking a wandering topic. But yeah, so Prisoners sounds damn good. I do want to get to see this because I don't think it's going to be on much longer.
No,
it's bullshit because it's, you know what, much like Argo, it seems like one of these films that's really good but doesn't appeal to the masses. No. So slips under the radar. This time seems like a film that will do well when it hits like DVD.
Yeah, it's going to be the sort of film that I reckon. Middle-aged couples are going to see in Sainsbury's or Waitrose when they're doing their weekly shop, and they're going to pick it up and think, "Oh, a nice drama with a glass of red." But that's the sort of person that doesn't go to the cinema.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. I mean, my dad really likes films. He's a really big film buff. It's probably it is where I get it from. I always watch films as a kid because he used to rent a shit ton.
Yeah.
And he might go to the pictures like fucking 3 times a year if you're lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a man who has has had a monthly subscription to Empire magazine for like the past fucking 10 years, and even he only goes 3 times a month, 3 times a year. So I think this is the type of film that will probably start doing better once it hits home formats.
Yeah,
but
I think it really will.
It's
I'm
frustrating.
by it, so
I'm definitely going to. I want to go and see it. If I don't get the chance, I'll certainly jump on it once it comes out available. Because I'll got to say it. Liking Hugh Jackman at the moment.
Yeah.
He's redeeming himself because
movie 43.
Well, and no, it wasn't even just movie 43, man. It was a lot of things. He kind of came out like, I don't know, back in the early 2000s when he was like doing the X-Men movies and stuff, and just becoming a big star. And he was like, yeah, this guy's got potential. And then he spent like the majority of the last 5 years making mediocre shit.
Yeah.
And it's only really since Liam Mays that he's actually kind of redeemed himself a little bit.
Yeah, and he's just lucky that he was like had Broadway experience before, like doing it, because I don't think that have picked him.
No, I mean, goddamn, he is fucking good though at doing kind of musicals. Goddamn, he is talented in that respect. But yeah, so I definitely want to go and see that. So that's an A for Prisoners. It sounds like a solid recommendation.
Yeah, go and watch it if you can. Bloody Odeon.
What in the world did you do? Someone has to make him talk, or they're gonna die.
We're not gonna help Keller, but we won't stop him either. Let him do what he needs to.
I know you know where they are.